This is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome. Can you feel the vibe? Can you feel the energy? That's right. It's a Friday, baby. It's going to be an incredible weekend of sports across this great world and country of ours. In addition to the Valspar, we've got March Madness. We've got NBA. We've got hockey. We have soccer. Oh, soccer. We've got Footy Friday coming up in about 5 minutes. We got a ton to get to. And right now, me and my guys are on absolute fire. We gave away free merch yesterday because we had such a great day. Well, guess what? We're going to do it again today because we had just one loss, and that was young Peyton. Not really his fault. North Carolina was up 19 points, and Hubert Davis said, you know what? I'll just play 6 dudes. We'll talk about that coming up in about 20 minutes. So let's set the stage. We've got day 2 of March Madness today. 16 more games. What's going to be the upset? What game are you most looking forward to? Is the High Point head coach the new star of the tournament? We'll discuss all of that. Also in front page news, how much is Saudi Arabia spending on a flag football game? We'll discuss that as well. And also, Celtics and the Spurs. Can either one get that number 1 seed with 12 or 13 games yet to play? In addition, we have a brand new merch store, and we want you to be a part of it. So I don't even know what the code is, to be honest. Producer man, text me. I know we got a code. You get a free hat with 2 T-shirts bought. I think it's for Gazy 10. I'm not sure. We'll get it right, and we'll get it to you. All right. News of the day. Luka, 60 last night. On the road in the Miami Heat, well, their fans started chanting MVP. By the way, that code is 2COUNT. 2COUNT is the code. You get a free hat with a purchase of 2 T-shirts at our merchandise store. All right, so we'll talk about Luka and also Wemby. The Spurs, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2019. Oh, they are back, and Wemby did it in style on Thursday night. All right, housekeeping is over. We are red hot. We've had an amazing week, but we got to cap it off today. But I just don't know where. There they are. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Let's beat the books. All right, let's get to it here on a Friday. And my man, first and foremost, a little afternoon premium pop-up. Hey, Mikey P, how'd you do on those picks on your pop-up show yesterday?
I did fantastic. Actually, move over, Buffalo Wild Wings, because I'm the new pick 6 in town. I'm on a 6-pick heater right now, Coach, just doing what we do here at the brand.
Okay. Next, he's got the best beard in the game. Very busy over there at Prize Pick. Soupy, what's good?
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, we are covering the NBA. The playoffs are getting ready there. We're right in the middle of March Madness. It is busy over here at Prize Picks.
It's also busy down in the dirty, where my man is all over several different sports. But on Friday, we focus on the footy. Big Chuck, good morning.
Morning, Coachman Company. Yeah, March Madness already off to a hot start. A loaded weekend plus the soccer on the forecast. Get it all in because you know what's coming up next week, the dreaded international break. So a couple of weeks, but, hey, we're back to it.
How many international breaks do they have? I mean, my God. It's like every 3 weeks there's an international break. What are we doing?
Last one until the World Cup.
Oh, my goodness. The World Cup. I'm so fired up for it. I wonder, out here, it's a big topic in L.A. How many games will be here? How many games are going to get moved here? So there's still a lot up in the air when you're talking about the World Cup coming to North America this summer. But, gentlemen, I don't know if you've noticed, Chuck, Soupy, but we are red hot this week. I don't know what the collective record is, but it's like 25-4, something like that. It's crazy. So we've got a lot of pressure today. And I mean a lot of pressure today. So I know, Chuck, we've got Footy Friday coming up in about 5 minutes. But for you other 2 clowns, I have one very simple question. Good reaction time, Soupy. Mikey, start us off. Best bets, go.
Coach, I'm going to stick with what's worked, and that is going with gut feelings and leaning into my personal favorites. So that you guys have heard these schools before, and we're going right back to the well. Give me the Miami, Ohio Redhawks, the team that was the biggest fugazi in the NCAA. They can't win a tournament game. They don't belong there. Plus 11.5 against Tennessee. I also do believe they are a live dog. I know Coach Travis Steele wants them to shoot 43s or more. I think if they do that, they definitely have a chance to win. On the other side, the St. John's Red Storm taking on the Northern Iowa. I've got St. John's covering here as well. And Coach, as requested by you, a MMA play every time there's an MMA event. PFL Madrid, I'm going with someone near and dear to me, a great friend in the business. Linton Vassell makes his return to the Smart Cage, out of action all last year. Minus 130, little chalky, but for a guy who's been away for a year, I really like this play. And the last one, I can see you're confused, Coach. I know what that is. Coach, TLW at plus money. Because very quickly, Coach, yesterday on the premium pop-up, Raph and I wondered, which show would you appear on first? So Raphael being our numbers guy for a reason. You have the premium pop-up or the last word. My official play, you'll be on the last word before you ever join Raph and I.
Wow. So there are odds right now at DraftKings, I would assume, or maybe Hard Rock, that I will appear on the last word, which is Monday nights after Monday Night Raw, before I join a premium pop-up with you and Raphael. Is that the play?
That's the play.
I would love to see the other odds for the other shows too. I don't know. All right, we have to think about that for a second. Very interesting. The fact that you made it a best bet, you got to feel pretty good about it. I know a guy. All right, Soupy, my guy. What do we got here? You went out on a limb. 2 big plays. Laying how? Please explain yourself.
Yeah, you may think I'm going with my heart, but I did the research.
Oh no!
No, I'm going UConn minus 20.5. I think it's going to be a big first game for the Huskies. They are mad losing that Big East title game to St. John's. I think they're going to come out in force. They don't. I think Furman has the size to defend them in the paint, but I think that perimeter shooting with Solo Ball and Alex Caravan is going to be too much for Furman. And Dan Hurley, 14-0 in the NCAA tournament, covering the spread. I think he makes it number 15 today. And one team, I think that I'm on upset alert for this one, Northern Iowa. I'm taking them in the first half plus 5.5. They play at a snail's pace, 3rd slowest pace in the nation. I think that St. John's is going to have trouble getting into rhythm in that first half. I think Rick Pitino can make those second half adjustments, but that's why I'm going to attack that first half, giving Northern Iowa plus 5.5.
Did you use the term slow? Did you say the word slow?
Yeah.
Were you talking about your take, or what else? What were you actually talking about?
You got to let it simmer. No, not slow.
Oh, really? We got like the rest of the show we got to do. It's all right. I love 3-minute takes, Soupy. I love it. All right, I'm going to go next. I'll make it quick. I got 2 plays in the NBA. Blazers, T-Wolves. Minnesota has figured out that if they play faster, they score more. They went north of 135 in their last game. We cashed that ticket. We're going to do it again because I think they understand they got to play fast. Then Raptors, Nuggets. This is an absolute steal at 236.5. Toronto's 10 games over 500. Toronto, I mean, when you look at them, very, very good basketball team. The Nuggets, a very willing dance partner. Then 2 afternoon tea times, round 2, so you got to get them in early. We nailed it yesterday. We're going to nail it again today. Xander shot an opening -3. He's starting to get it. I called the players last week. Remember that? And Xander had a good day until the final 36 holes, or the good tournament, rather. He's going to beat Victor Hovland, who shot a -1. He has won here before. Then Sun J.M., he's your first round leader, -7. Brooks Koepka is just handing you money because he can't score. He can't make a putt. His putter is as cold as ice. He shot an even par on Thursday. This is a layup today with Sun J.M. 4 check marks. My God. Dayquil, they say it doesn't affect your brain like NyQuil. I disagree. Can't even think right now. But that doesn't mean we won't cash. And it doesn't mean that we're all not ready. Are you ready? Footy Friday. Roll it. right, you heard Chuck. The international break is up on us. So, Chuck, where do we go today and where do we start?
And we're going to focus on Saturday. We're going to go to the EPL. Brighton, Liverpool, who are coming off that huge victory midweek. That's the classic letdown spot. In Brighton, the Seagulls, they have tended to give the Reds a hard time as of late, especially at home. I like them to score early with the Brighton first half team total over a half a goal. On to Spain, La Liga, Osasuna, Girona, another team who enjoyed this matchup. I expect a fast start from them also with the first half team total over half a goal. And when these two get together, they each tend to hit the back of the net with the both teams a score that's cashed in 5 of their previous 8 meetings. And lastly, MLS, aka the gold mine, the Sporting KC coaches in Colorado. I see both teams scoring in the first half in this one, but we're going to go ahead and add the first half over 1.25. That way, if there's only one goal, you get half your stake back. And the over 3 is these two have combined for 3 or more goals in 4 straight encounters.
I love it when you call it the gold mine. That just pops me like crazy. What did you make of Lionel Messi getting to 900 goals the other day?
About time.
It's about time. What has been in your mind as we head into the international break, and then we're going to have about 2 months before we get to the summer? Has there been a league that you've leaned into more than others?
Definitely the Bundesliga, EPL, but I love me some Bundesliga. Even though, I don't know if you're aware of this, we witnessed history last weekend. Every match, all 9 stayed under for the first time in league history.
In Bundesliga?
In the Bundesliga, every match over
all
9.
Oh, God, how frustrating was that? Because most bettors, we like overs. I hate unders in soccer. It's like I've never known time to go slower than when you're betting an under in soccer. It's like it never moves, and it's the worst. And VAR, with us, they always go, yep, that goal's good when you're betting the under. I despise it. Despise it. All right, Chuck, thank you very much. That is Footy Friday. We'll recap all of our plays at the end of the show. Also, we've got to figure out, and I need to see all my guys, what is the hashtag, gentlemen, that we need to use today? Because we've been so hot that we've got to do another merch giveaway. So what should the hashtag be today? What do we think?
Madness for March Madness.
Oh, okay. I like it. Hashtag madness. If you are watching on YouTube and you're in the chat right now, hashtag madness. Producer man will put you on the Coach and Brolette wheel, making an appearance here in the sports space. And we will spin it at the end of the show, and somebody will want a free T-shirt from our new merch store. And by the way, there's a lot. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Big Tommy C, his ego has gotten so big because he's on the front page. He's got his big old head up there with the sunglasses and everything. But the one that's really selling like hotcakes is the Dirt Sheet Dan T-shirt that Gabby modeled last week on The Last Word. And I'm starting to wonder, Mikey, if maybe, just maybe, it's not the shirt. Maybe it's the aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, no one knows promoting and marketing better than the coach, so you obviously know the talent you have available to you, and why not use your available resources?
Talent is one word to describe our favorite Gabby. The only female in the house. She gets all of the women's work around here. We need a female. Gabby gets it. She's very selfish that way. She's very, very selfish that way. All right, gentlemen, I have a feeling we're going to have another great day. We're going to wrap up a great week, but we still have a lot to get to. It is day 2 of March Madness. Coming up on the other side, upsets, games we're looking forward to. Also, is there a new star in the High Point head coach? Then, coming up in about 20 minutes, maybe the most expensive football game of all time. This is Coach and Company on a Friday, live on Stadium. All right, here we go. Bam, last night after Luka scored 60, he said this.
It is what it is. He has some tough shots out there. Like it is.
All right, we have no
is.
sound, and that's fine. He basically compared himself scoring 80. We can take that down. Take it down. Compared himself, Mikey, to Luka scoring 60, and basically said when you get in the zone, it's a very, very difficult place to be. What did you make of Bam and his comparisons?
Well, while I was watching March Madness, I dug deep and I got a translator out and I tried to really investigate what Bam was saying. And what he was saying, coach, is hey, I'm only half as good as most of these star players in the league because while Luka got a 60-point game against my team on the second night of a back-to-back, I did it against the Washington Wizards. My team fouled so I could get more opportunities. I went to the line 43 times, and my team might make it in the playoffs. Bam Adebayo, you're a joke. His game should never be compared to Kobe, who had over 35 points 3 straight games after 81. You're done. I'm dead to me, Bam Adebayo, whatever your name is.
That was solid, Mikey. Soupy, would you like to follow that, whatever that was?
I mean, can you be a little lighter on him? Yeah, we all talk about how he took a lot of shots, he took a lot of threes, a lot of free throws. I don't think it even comes compared to Luka. 60 points, where he does it, I think it was a lot of better performance from Luka.
Well, it was legit and one wasn't legit. That's what it was. Big Chuck, what are your thoughts on the faux 83?
Well, unfortunately, I missed the clip, but it seems like he was throwing a little shade. So I was kind of upset with it anyway because I never wanted to see the Mamba get overtaken, especially by 43 free throws. So shout out to both impressive performances, but yeah, just stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. That's great. 43 free throws. It was so embarrassing. Now, if he would have scored 60 or 65, he would be getting more love than he is for scoring 83. We're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is Coach and Company here live on the Stadium Network. If you want to be interactive, I see the chat is always popping. We do have our premium pop-ups that are going to be coming up. If you want to become a premium member, that's going to be a real focus for us the next couple of weeks as well on the wrestling side and here on the sports side. But it's time to dig deep into day number 2. An exciting, at times head-scratching day on day number 1. And we got to start with the team that blew the biggest lead, and that's North Carolina. Hubert Davis, I believe, has coached his last game at one of, if not the most famous university for basketball in the country. And he only used, count them, 6 players. And he said afterwards, Mikey, when asked what happened down the stretch, well, he had a player that played 43 minutes. And he goes, what are you talking about? These were my decisions. Is this a coach just absolutely not understanding what just happened?
Yeah, absolutely. The worst part about this for Hubert Davis is he now gets in the same conversation as Jerry McNamara. I understand North Carolina had the biggest choke job last night, but Siena had an opportunity to pull off the biggest upset yesterday, and Jerry McNamara did not go to his bench until the final minute in the game. So when you're getting compared to the Siena coach, yeah, Hubert Davis, if your key card doesn't work this morning, I think we all know why.
It was so hard to watch. It was like an avalanche going downhill, Soupy, and he just refused to stop it. There weren't really the timeouts that he needed to call, and certainly not trusting players 7, 8, and 9 proved to be his downfall in overtime.
And I think the problem is, especially in this type of tournament, you've got to play in 2 more days. So even if they came out and win this game, you're going to try to play another 6 players, another 40 minutes after they're all gassed from playing 40 minutes the game before. That type of attrition is not good for a tournament like this. So even if they came up with that win yesterday, I don't think they were going to win on Saturday.
This might be the year, guys. And Chuck, as I looked at some of the teams that we have playing today, there's a lot of names like Nebraska wins yesterday for the first time. Is this going to be a year where some of the big names like a North Carolina just go down because there's so much parity, and a Hubert Davis or a McNamara are kind of in the same boat now?
I agree. I don't think there's going to be as much. Last year was full of chalk. It was heavy with chalk. Ones that got all the way through for the first time in forever. I see much more parity in this one. I see more lopsided opportunities for these teams to come through. So I don't see those traditionals just overweighing the field in this one. So, yeah, I like the opportunity to see some 11s and 12s in to go through in this tourney.
Well, guess what else we're going to see, boys? We're going to see a 12, to your point, Chuck, and that is High Point. And on the show on Thursday, Mikey P and DG, we said, what's the upset special? They said High Point over Wisconsin. And there's always a star. One of these coaches or one of these players or an aura's gone, by the way, they become the stars of the tournament. So maybe, let me check my notes. Flynn Clayman is the head coach of High Point. Here he is in the locker room after they beat Wisconsin by 1.
They said it was going to be a short trip. Yep. And it was. Put on the Hey, we ain't done yet. I told y'all we didn't come here to win a game. We came here to get on that plane going home to the Sweet 16. That's what we came here for. We didn't come here to just win 1. We came here to win 6. All right? We fought hard. We had a bad start, but we were clearly the better team. And that team has beaten 5 top 10 teams. So guess what that means? You guys can beat anybody in the country. Let's get it up.
Come on, Flynn Clayman, let's go. Are you kidding me right now? You wouldn't run to a wall for that guy? And oh, by the way, also yesterday on the show, Peyton pointed out a guy that hadn't hit 1 2-point shot the entire year. 68 threes. Who was the guy? And I said, is he allowed to make a layup? Who was the guy that made the game-winning layup with 10 seconds to go? That dude. You can't even write a script like that, Mikey. That was an amazing win. And that coach and that soundbite will get him a new job.
As it should, and it was a great run for High Point. Fantastic moment for that head coach. Welcome to Coach Cal and Arkansas. I loved it for day 1, but the Razorbacks are going to run through High Point. They're going to beat them by at least 15 over the weekend.
Why can't you just focus on the here and the now? Why'd you have to go to Saturday? We weren't even there yet. So negative all the time. So negative. Soupy, pick up Mikey P and his negativity off the floor. This was amazing. This is what March Madness is all about. You got to let him savor this for at least 24 to 36.
What a negative poo-poo face right there for you.
Yeah, I know.
No, I love Chase Johnston. Yeah, did not make a 2-point shot the entire season, and with 10 seconds to win the game. I think it's an incredible story. What we're seeing is, and I think that's why I don't believe there's going to be a lot of upsets today, is because High Point, VCU, these were all high-seeded teams in their respective mid-major conferences. We didn't get a lot of those into the tournament, especially coming today. So I think yesterday was the bulk of the upsets that we're going to see in this tournament.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. He also, when he was talking on the dais, he was talking about how teams like Miami, Ohio, Akron, High Point, they can't schedule these big major teams during the season. He goes, they won't play us. And so when we get to the tournament and we win, everybody thinks it's a surprise. Well, they're scared of us, basically is what he said. So you said the word upset. Chuck, I want to come to you. Let's talk about an upset today. Give me one game, give me one team that you think can get the job done, not just against the spread perhaps, but perhaps getting it done on the court.
The one that we had the Santa Claras, the Akrons, the UCFs, but Villanova's sticking out to me. Villanova's a dog, veterans of the tournament. I mean, you just have to ride with them. I think they have potential to have legs in this tournament as well. Veteran club, those veteran clubs usually do well in the tournament. Also, you usually see freshman-laden clubs, teams. They usually go out early. So, yeah, for me, Villanova, they're not too much of a dog, but they are a dog.
And it's weird because they're the dog, but they're the 8th seed. And Utah State is the 9th seed. Mikey, let me come to you. You see an upset special today because you nailed it yesterday.
I do like, obviously, Miami, Ohio. I do think they are a true live dog. The other one would be one that Chuck mentioned, which is UCF. And I'm not going to claim this as the official upset pick for me, Coach. But look at Hofstra against Alabama. And I know that sounds crazy, but you have to believe that that locker room, that coach, and that culture inside the Crimson Tide right now could be a little shell-shocked. And we've seen this in day 1 of the tournament. If you're not ready when that ball is tipped off, you could get punched in the mouth. So I'd be very worried if I was a Crimson Tide fan.
I had 2 written down. I had Akron at +7.5, and I had Hofstra at +11.5. And the reason I wrote those 2 down is because kind of what you just said, Mikey. Alabama has to now play without one of their biggest names and best players. Texas Tech is in the same boat. Now, they lost Tobin a few games ago, but it doesn't change the fact that right now they are not close to the team that they were during the regular season. But yet the tournament committee has put them in a position, and Akron is just like Miami of Ohio. In fact, they won that tournament, not Miami of Ohio. Soupy, give me an upset today.
I think it's going to be Santa Clara over Kentucky. Santa Clara, they're 25th in three-pointers made, and even when they miss, they grab the rebound. They get those second chances. They're 19th in the nation in offensive rebounds. And what you're doing is you're getting a second possession, but you're also taking away a possession to your opponent. And I think that's how Santa Clara could win this game.
I like Santa Clara. A lot of people don't get to see them on the West Coast. They play all of those late games. They're a really good team. All right, let's go to the game that we're most looking forward to watching. My game on Thursday was St. Louis and Georgia, and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had a solid 12 points and 5 rebounds. They scored 102, and they covered the over by 10, and the over 169 and a half. It was an amazing game to watch if you're a Billikens fan. All right, Big Chuck, give me the game today. There's 16 of them to choose from that you're most looking forward to watching.
And I think this one's going to be the opposite of that game. Iowa-Clemson. I think it's the most evenly balanced game between these two. And I think it's going to be a rock fight instead of the St. Louis up and down. We're going to see long, drawn-out possessions. This one, I think the first team to 50 or 60 actually wins, maybe even 50. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a classic full set, stretch out the shot clock, Clemson, Iowa.
It'll be like 2.5 hours and every timeout. And, oh, those are games you're like, man, how did it just last? And if you've ever been to those games in person, the commercial time, I think the commercials are about 4.5 minutes instead of 3. Everything is longer to pay the inventory. Mikey, we got Iowa-Clemson. What say you?
I really wanted to say Prairie View A&M and Florida, Coach. I really did. But for me, it's going to be St. John's in Northern Iowa because I know that St. John's is being picked against a lot because of the 12-5 matchup. But you hit on it perfectly with the High Point head coach. As much as we talk about star players in the tournament, nothing matters more than coaching decisions. And I look at Rick Pitino, very animated this season, very bought in this season with St. John's. And I want to see if he carries that same energy through this beginning round of the tournament.
Star coaches is what this tournament is all about because you don't have star players anymore. Because star players either leave for the league after a year or they're moving around because of NIL. And if that's the case, you don't know who they are. You might have a nice run and go, oh, well, that kid was good all year. But you didn't know that because he's on his third college. Soupy, what game are you most looking forward to today?
I'm looking at Missouri and Miami. Both teams, they play each other to their strengths very well. Both are averaging 80 points per game. I think this could go back and forth. I think and potentially see 170 to 180 points on both sides.
Really? Missouri and Miami?
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting game.
All right, very good. So we have a lot of choices there for you to choose from. Iowa, Clemson, Missouri, Miami. I like Miami of Ohio and Tennessee. I think there's going to be a lot of good games today. And is Prairie View A&M playing today, Mikey?
They are. Two teams some people would say they're battling to move on in the tournament. I would say Miami, Ohio, and Prairie View A&M are playing for my love and my attention.
I feel like that they're you're finding your inner diversity, your inner black man, if you will, over there at Prairie View A&M. He's trying to make history, boys, in a place that normally, you don't see a lot of Mikey P's. But we're busting down the door. We're running through the wall. Everybody is welcome in our world of HBCUs. All right, still to come on the other side, a flag football game that like $200 million. What are we doing? This is Coach and Company halfway home right here on Stadium. All right, boys, this one is kind of funny. And I think Penn and their student section didn't ever think that they were actually going to beat Illinois on Thursday. But they still had some fun with it. When they were down 30, they started chanting. And as you turn the sound up a little bit higher, you realize that they said, don't worry, you'll be working for us one day. End quote. Mikey, is this one of the most savage chants down 30 that you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. And talking to producer man before the show, you know how that came about. There's the one kid who never made it on the high school basketball team, was always thrown in the lockers, but he was always the smartest kid in the room. And he waited for that opportunity. And he was in that student section yesterday, and he goes, I'm getting my get back right now. I'm going to make fun of all these successful basketball players. You guys are working for me now.
All right, let's run the sound, and I'll lay out. Apparently, I ruined the BAM sound because everybody else was hearing it except for me. So let's run the sound of the Penn student section. Listen closely.
That's okay. You're gonna work for us someday. That's all right. That's okay. You're gonna work for us someday. That's all right.
It's good to see a sellout there as well. Soupy, not a bad coming up with something when you're down 30 and you're just sitting in your seat with nothing else to do.
What else are you going to do? Because you know the score isn't going to end well for you. So you go with what you know, and you know you're smarter than all of us in the room, and we're going to let you know it.
No doubt about it. All right, gentlemen, we've got a lot more to get to because sometimes when you get into March Madness, it's very, very easy to just focus on the tournament games, and every other sport kind of takes a back seat, and that's understandable. But there are a lot of good stories going on right now in the NFL, in the NBA. We're getting the playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. I consider the next 4 months my favorite 4 months. Now, some people say, without the NFL, without football, we got the UFL, baby. We got football starting this week, I believe. We'll get Raphael all over those. We're back live. A little front page news in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are halfway home. If you're watching us live on Stadium or YouTube or social media, it's 10:32 in the East, 7:32 out here in the West. You're just getting your day started. I want you always to remember it's a blessing to get out of bed in the morning, and we are certainly pleased and appreciate that you start your day with us. Now, gentlemen, we have a little breaking news coming into the BTT newsroom, and it's sad news. 86 years old, the great Chuck Norris has passed away today. And that news just came out a couple of minutes ago. Mike, you might be a little bit too young to appreciate Chuck Norris, but is there a favorite show or movie that either one of you can remember? For me, it's very easy. USA Network, Walker, Texas Ranger. Let's go. That was, to me, and he was already like 60 by then. Were you a big Chuck Norris fan, either one of you?
I mean, how could you not love Chuck Norris, especially the internet going crazy over Chuck Norris? Right now, I don't believe Chuck Norris died. I believe all of existence just died, and Chuck Norris is the only one still alive.
He is a badass. He was maybe the biggest badass for an actor that's ever been. All right, so rest in peace to Chuck Norris. All right, Jim, we got a lot of topics we got to hit to very, very quickly, and we got to start with this one because I got to be honest, it's not that I'm eating crow. I just didn't expect this. That the Lakers a couple of weeks ago, they were sliding. Nobody was giving them credit. There was dissension in the ranks. Now, all of a sudden, fast forward, we got an 8-game winning streak. We've got LeBron playing back-to-backs in Houston and then in Miami. Now, I think there was a little bit of motivation because, remember, he played for the Heat, won his first title with the Heat. They scored 134 last night. Luka, however, was the star of the show. 60 points. And an MVP chant with 14 seconds to go in the game. Mikey, have they turned a corner to where now even LeBron, who scored 30 last night, can say, hey, Luka, it's your team. We're just going to follow you?
Absolutely, Coach. That's exactly what it is. It is the Luka Lakers show. You talked about the 60 points last night. That's great. But go back to the night before in Houston, barking at the fans when the game was coming down to the wire, hitting dagger threes. Nothing worse than slow man Luka hitting a dagger three and then yelling at you about it as a fan. So I think LeBron, Austin Reeves, everyone has recognized, hey, look, this is Luka's team. Even DeAndre Ayton recognized it this week. Coach, I'm sure you haven't seen his quote, but it might be the most mind-boggling quote of the season.
Well, you can't just say that and not say what the quote is. What the hell? Tell me what he said.
He said, I had to have a conversation with myself and realize and tell myself, I'm not that guy. I just have to put in effort because I can't be the star player on this team.
Wow. Sounds like something DG would say. Okay, Soupy, let me come over to you. Is this the turning point? Easy there, Mikey. Is this the turning point for the Lakers in the way that they've kind of reshuffled the deck, so to speak?
I think so. I would have never believed the way they had been they've been average most of the year. But this is the time when you want to get hot. You want to get hot mid to late March into April when the playoffs are starting. And that's what they're doing right now. And in a Western Conference where everything is shuffling, I think they're right now at the advantage.
No, Mom, he said that. Yeah, he did. Now, let's stay with that Lakers game last night. Let me look at my notes. Wow. 1,500 and some odd games. It's a lot. LeBron James last night setting the record for most games played, held by not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Robert Parrish of the Celtics. And when asked about LeBron breaking his all-time games played record, he said, well, he deserves it because he puts in his body the same thing that I put in my body. That's what we're doing now. We're talking about nutrition at 41 years of age. Mikey P, do we need to tip our cap to LeBron for playing so many games?
I think in today's culture of basketball with load management and severe injuries, I think yes, to that effect, yes. But I need to take a shot at my own Celtics guy and Robert Parrish. My guy, what are you talking about? Have you seen yourself in the mirror? Have you seen LeBron? When LeBron catches up to Robert Parrish's age, he's still going to have an 8-pack. I saw Robert Parrish, and I go, who is that guy? No, don't ever compare yourself to him again.
Oh, my God. 1,611 games, by the way, is the exact total, Soupy. I mean, on these types of records, you can't shade him. You can't shade him. This is just amazing that you stay healthy enough for 23 seasons to get to this number.
I think you stay healthy enough, but you also play consistently well enough because it doesn't matter if LeBron James is LeBron James. If you're not producing, no team's going to want you. And he's still doing that right now. He just scored 30 points at 40 years old. That is an amazing accomplishment in its own. That's why he's been able to play for 23 years. And I don't think he's done. I think he's still got another 1 or 2 years left.
No, I think you might be right. All right, gentlemen, one of the big stories this weekend, and originally it was supposed to take place in Saudi Arabia, but because of everything going on in Iran and that part of the world, they moved it to L.A. The names that are playing flag football this weekend are staggering. Now, for a lot of you out there, and I've seen a lot of you on social media, they're like, oh, Logan Paul and Gronk getting ready to fight. They really hate each other. Stop it. This is all for show, to promote the flag football game. Here's just a few of the names, gentlemen. Let me check my notes. Max Crosby. Don't know what he'll be doing with a torn meniscus, but okay. Sauce Gardner, Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, the coaches, Pete Carroll, Sean Payton, Kyle Shanahan, and, of course, Gronk will be there as well. Tom Brady reportedly anywhere from $50 to $75 million to be the face of this flag football game. He's also talking a lot of trash because I believe he'll be a part of WrestleMania in Las Vegas, and he's a part owner of the Raiders. So I think there's more on that side. Mikey P, when you look at all these names, how much money do you think Saudi Arabia is writing the check for to get all these guys? And, oh, by the way, if you're the NFL and you're wondering how much these guys will participate, you don't want Saquon tearing an ACL in a flag football game for Riyadh season in Vegas.
I'm going to say 200 million, simply because I think Tom Brady is getting a bulk of all the finances on this. And some of these guys, I'm not going to say they're just happy to be a part of it, but I don't think anyone's kind of strong-arming the negotiations to be a part of this big event.
Wow. Soupy, what about you?
I think it's going to go 250 million. And I bet you some of these players might be making just as much or maybe just a tiny bit less than what they make in an NFL season. So money always talks. And I think that's why they're participating in it. I think they'll take the risk on an injury for the NFL season.
The amount of money that Saudi Arabia and these different funds spend, at some point, It's not a business. It's just you're giving money away, nothing in return. The whole point of doing this is to make Saudi Arabia a destination, to make people say, it's not what we think they were, but we can come. They just built a Six Flags. They have a WWE engagement type of thing. This was supposed to be that. I've never seen and will probably never see again a place willing to spend the amount of money that they're spending on this. Remember a couple of years ago, Mikey? I can't remember it was an MMA or it was a boxing event where they brought all the legends over, all the boxers, and they paid like 60 of them $100,000 to show up. Do you remember what that fight was?
I want to say it was a Tyson Fury fight. I believe it was I know it was a boxing fight because I was a little perplexed. I'm like, why are there so many MMA guys here? And then it's Tyson Fury. So I believe it was Tyson Fury.
By the way, Tyson Fury's dad is making news, did a big interview yesterday and says he doesn't even talk to his son anymore. Said his son could be getting brain damage because he's so bad right now. I mean, there was a lot of quotes. Did you read all that, Mikey?
I did. John Fury needs to just go somewhere and sit down. That is the most angry. For someone who has a son as successful as Tyson Fury, who's overcome both things in the ring and outside of the boxing ring in his own personal life, just be proud of your son, John Fury. Sit down, shut up, and stop trying to pick fights with everyone. That's what your son is a professional for.
That's exactly right. All right, one more topic, Subi. I got to come over to you, staying with the football theme. The Vikings inexplicably signed Carson Wentz to their roster yesterday. So now they have Carson Wentz, Kyler Murray, and J.J. McCarthy. All three quarterbacks have started in the league. Who's QB1?
I think it's Kyler Murray. I really think after last year, I think the Vikings are down on J.J. McCarthy, especially firing the general manager that drafted him. I don't think they should give up on J.J. McCarthy this early, but the writing is on the wall that this is Kyler Murray's job to lose.
Man, sometimes they do it so quickly that you go, is it too soon? I was never a believer, Mikey, in J.J. McCarthy anyway. And now it feels like to me, if you're trying to make your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, and if you're trying to make him feel wanted, you don't sign two dudes that have already started in the league previous. And Kyler Murray's been a starter for the last, 5 or 6 years. So in your mind, Mikey, who is QB1 in Minnesota?
While I feel like it shouldn't be Kyler Murray, I'm going to have to agree with you, Soupy, and I do believe it's Kyler Murray. But here's the thing. If you're J.J. McCarthy, just ask to get out. Because this team spent a first-round pick on you. Now, Coach, Kevin O'Connell has used at least two quarterbacks over the last 4 years each season. So they need depth in Minnesota because no one can stay healthy. But if Kyler Murray is going to be your bridge gap because you don't believe in J.J. McCarthy, send him elsewhere. Let him go compete elsewhere and let him get a second opportunity because Minnesota's just buying time right now at quarterback.
But I feel like that's been done before by Minnesota. Did they ever have a quarterback that was a starter and then they had another backup that they liked better and they said, yes, you can leave? And who was that? I'm trying. Anybody help me out with that? Anyone?
Oh, that was Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion.
Oh, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. That's right. Soupy, he won the Super Bowl this year. One season after Minnesota shipped him out of town because he had 2 bad games at the end of last season. What are we doing? What are we doing?
It just shows.
Oh, no. I don't have time for you. I've only got 15 seconds. I'm sorry. I don't even know what you were getting into there. All right, still to come on the other side. We're talking NBA. Celtics or the Spurs? Which one has the best chance to get to that number 1 seed? And also, we've had a phenomenally great week with our picks. It's time to lock it in. We do it next. It is Coach and Company Live right here on the Stadium Network. All right, Soupy, since I cut you off, I'm going to let you start with this. No, I have had my opinions about the WWE Hall of Fame, namely that it doesn't exist because there's no building. But we have somebody in the chat, and you guys may not know him, Dango from New England. And apparently this is Dirt Sheet Dan's YouTube name. Wow. That I know, Mikey, what are we doing? Dennis Rodman will be inducted into the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. He actually barely ever did. I don't think he did anything in the WWE. It was all WCW. What do you make of this announcement?
Yeah, he really wasn't in the. Was he ever in the WWE? I know he was prominent in the WCW, a member of the NWO. But with WWE buying WCW, why not? They have put some of those type of guys into their Hall of Fame, and it's just to get the name there. Until they do have a physical building, I don't think you can be legit right now.
I've been asked so many times, guys, and it's almost embarrassing. They're like, Coach, would you accept an induction into the Hall of Fame? Did I have a Hall of Fame career? I don't know. That begs the question. Chuck, do you think I or Dennis Rodman had a Hall of Fame career?
You for sure, Coach, man. Dennis Rodman, not so much. I do remember him running around with Hulk Hogan back in the days, but I remember him a part of the WWE. So I guess if they bought the company, they can bring him over. But it's kind of nonsense to me, if you ask my opinion.
And I did, and it is nonsense. Now, he's a legendary partier. Mikey P, I got about 15 seconds for you.
No, I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. Did Undertaker call him? Until he gets the Undertaker call with the bell, doesn't count. You're not a real Hall of Famer, Dennis Rodman. Sorry.
I was actually there when I was there the night that we overtook WCW. It was one of the most exciting nights ever. Shane McMahon down there in one of the Florida towns, an outside show. It was exciting until we realized, oh, shit, we have no competition, and all the salaries went straight off a cliff. We're back live in 5 seconds. Dirt Sheet Dan. All right. Guess who showed up late? Any coach plays today in the chat from Big Cheesy. Thanks for coming at the top of the hour, Big Cheesy. And also, I think I might be undefeated all week. I'm not sure. All right, gentlemen, it's time to talk NBA. I don't even need a transition today. We're going to go right into it because I have one question for all three of you. And right now we have about 13 games left for the Celtics, 12 games left for the Spurs. Mikey P, I'm going to start with you because the Celtics, you're a squad. They are 4 back. The Spurs are 3 back of the Thunder. In your opinion, if one team could get to that number 1 seed, who would it be?
I'm just going to play the numbers here, and as much as I would love to say the Celtics, I'm going to go with the Spurs because I do think the Pistons have a very easy strength of schedule down the stretch. But I will tell you, it doesn't matter the seed for Boston because the way Jason Tatum has played, some of the actual physical moves he's making on the court 10 months after tearing his Achilles, this team's going to be a problem in the playoffs.
Oh, Soupy, do you agree? Are the Celtics a problem? Do they get to that number 1 seed?
I think they get to that number 1 seed. Even with Cunningham in the lineup, they started to hit a little bit of a slide while the Celtics are ascending. I think now with Cunningham out, I think they're going to be able to jump over them, get that number 1 seed, and I think they will be a problem. Getting Jason Tatum is like trading for a star player late in the season.
You know, if you're the Spurs, Big Chuck, and you look at the standings right now, and I know they have the play-in, so it's a little hard to project, but I would rather play the Phoenix Suns than play the LA Clippers. And that's who the Spurs would play right now, based off of the numbers. But who do you think could get to that number 1 seed, and do they even need it?
I was looking at, originally I thought the Pistons would hold them off, but just no Cunningham for 2 weeks, and everyone says their schedule is a cupcake, but I was kind of looking it over. It's kind of tricky. They have the Raptors, T-Wolves twice, the Lakers, Magic, Bucks, so Hawks are sprinkled in there as well, so they're not layovers. More Celtics have a few more opportunities to win, so I definitely think the Celtics can chase them down, especially with no Cunningham.
All right. Tonight, there is a game. You talk about sleeping on certain teams. Toronto is the 5 seed. And I promise you that we have not talked about the Toronto Raptors all season on this show. Somehow, they're the 5 seed. And they're going to play the Denver Nuggets tonight. They're 10 games over 500. Mikey, I think this is a team that if you sleep on them could be a problem, and people need to watch this game tonight. I'm on the over.
I couldn't agree more, Coach. We always want to have instant reactions to big trades in every big league. Well, Brandon Ingram was traded to the Toronto Raptors last year. Everybody was falling off a cliff. He got hurt. Nobody cared. But now you have a full season of Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, who was a castaway for the New York Knicks, has come into his own. Same with Emmanuel Quickly. Like, this Raptors team, top to bottom, they're not necessarily deep, but their starting five can compete with most starting fives in the league. They're definitely one of the teams to watch in the East.
Another game that we are sleeping on tonight, and probably so. I've never known Steph Curry and Golden State to be more irrelevant, Soupy, than what we're talking about right now. And they go into Detroit to play the Pistons without Cade Cunningham. Have we kind of seen the last of a meaningful Steph Curry game or season?
I don't want to see it, but I think it is. They are just it's been a lot of injuries. The Warriors have been injured throughout the year. They've got a ton of players out in this game. Curry has been out for a long time. They can get into the play-in, but I don't think they get out of the play-in.
Yeah. I don't know if they want to get out of the play-in. Sometimes you go, you know what? And call it good. Speaking of good, we have been great all season, but we're only as good as our last play or our next play. It's time. Let's lock it in. All right, 10 seconds or less, just one or two nuggets is all that I need. That is not our picks for today. That is last Friday's, but we can still get into it. Soupy, start us off while we find the correct slide.
I'm going to go with UConn minus 20.5. Yes, that's a big number, but I don't care because Dan Hurley is 14 for 14 against the spread in the NCAA tournament, and I think that perimeter shooting is going to be too much for Furman. And then I'm taking Northern Iowa plus 5.5 in the first half. Slow-paced game is going to keep it close in that first half, but I think Rick Pitino and the boys pull away in the second.
All right, very, very good. Mikey P, 3 plays and a cliffhanger.
Miami, Ohio, plus 11.5 against Tennessee. I believe in the Red Hawks, and I think if they are efficient from three-point range, they will not only be able to cover, they could be able to win this game as well. And everyone's picking against St. John's, and Rick Pitino, I know better. I want a seat at the table. So give me the St. Johnny's to cover, and then PFL, Madrid kicking off here in about 3 hours. Linton Vassell, heavyweight, back inside the smart cage, first time in over a year. Gets a short notice opponent change, so I like him on the money line. And that cliffhanger, Coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be on last word anytime soon. I will tell you this: PFL, obviously, I worked with, and we hope that they do well. I'll say that we hope they do well. We'll see. I've got 4 plays today. 2 in the NBA, Blazers, T-Wolves. T-Wolves have figured out they play better when they play fast. We cashed them their last game. We're going to do it again over 231. Raptors, Nuggets, just talked about it. Raptors are an over team. Over 236.5. Then 2 afternoon round 2 plays at the Valspar. Xander shot at -3 on Thursday. He's starting to trend. Victor Hovland is not. And Sun J.M., he's your first round leader, shot 7 under on Thursday. Brooks Koepka can't make a putt. He shot even par, and that's probably the best he's going to do. I love these 2 plays. 4 check marks from me for today. All right, gentlemen. As we wrap things up, we got to come to Footy Friday. Big Chuck, rip it off.
Saturday action, EPL, Brighton, Liverpool, classic letdown spot. I think Brighton strike early. Brighton first half, team total over half a goal. La Liga, Osasuna, Girona. They love this matchup. I think that's another team that get the first half goal, team total over half a goal. And then these two get together, they tend to score with the both teams to score. And then the MLS Gold Mine, Sporting KC, Colorado. I see at least 2 first half goals with the over 1.2 first half. And the over 3 is these two have had 3 or more total goals in 4 straight.
Very, very good. Love Footy Friday across the weekend. Now, gentlemen, before we get out of here for the week, I have put intern Dan, Dirt Sheet Dan, on a mission. And I was afraid of what we might find. And we have found it. in these days where you have so much college eligibility, you just never know when somebody's going to show up and show out. So we have found this image that apparently Mikey P. All right, we'll do the giveaway first. All right, so we're frozen. Tech's killing us today. All right, so hashtag madness to get on the Coach and Roulette wheel. Let's throw it up on the screen. If that one works, there you go. Hashtag madness, there you go. All right, producer man, spin it up. Spin it up. Here we go. Who's going to be the winner today? Raphael. All right, here we go. Charles. Hey, we'll send you one too. There's no rules. There's no rules. You got to participate. Hashtag madness. I'd love to see Chuck win. I'd love to see Chuck. Oh, it's coming. Oh, the chat queen. And for all of you who didn't do it, it's that simple. How lazy are you? Kimberly, you know the drill. Send us an email and we'll get, my guess is, if she doesn't have it already, it's a Fugazi. All right, very, very quickly. I don't know if it's frozen or not. Do we have the image of what we just found? Or do we have to hold it for Monday? Oh, my God. What are we doing? What are we doing? Your own aura. You're the new aura.
I had a better idea, Coach.
What?
I had a better idea. I think you should do it. I think you should get behind this. Let's send a box.
Take that. I need my one shot. That's just embarrassing. Gentlemen, well done today. Well done today. There's only one thing left to do, and it's not that. And I believe you all know what time it is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire team. Love ball. Mikey P. Soupy. Big Chuck. Producer man, I'm simply the coach. Trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about. Have a great weekend. Consume our content. This is Coach and Company live on the Stadium Network. Have a great weekend.